And there it is. Welcome back to God's Autobiography. My name is Stephen French, and this time I found a colorful tree. It was actually a knitted tree a little bit down the road. I might stop there one of the times. This isn't the most colorful tree. I don't know why I introduced it as that. But found this tree, walking to buy some coffee and some food, and figured that this was a good spot for today's story. I've got a lot of stories kind of jotted down. I mentioned that before. Having a tough time deciding if I want to do them in chronological order. And for now I decided no. So a lot of these might come back, or I might shuffle them around at a later date to kind of paint larger stories that encompass these little stories. But this is one, I'm really bad with years, so I'm honestly not sure what year we went. I think it was when I was in 11th grade. So I think 2007, could be 2006. Oh shit, this isn't Florida. It could have been right after high school. I don't fucking remember now. It was a while ago, 10-ish years. Me and a few buddies decided to drive out to California. There's going to be a bunch of stories about, or I guess a bunch of videos about this story, because this was long. I'm not going to fit it in one. But just for the setup, there's 5 of us. There's myself, my buddy Scott, my buddy Keegan, Scott's girlfriend Kendra at the time, and I guess her name's still Kendra, girlfriend at the time, and his sister Anna, still both his sister and named Anna. We drove in a Dodge Neon from New York to California. That is a 5-person car. That is 5 persons. And that is a long fucking car ride. We had about 2 weeks off, and we drove for like 8 of those days. But the story that I want to talk about in particular for this one was, I think we're around I think we're near South Dakota, in the Dakotas somewhere. It's got to be between like midnight and 2 in the morning, pitch black, nobody on the roads, like middle of nowhere kind of territory. And I believe Keegan was driving and I was passenger. Now the rule on long road trips is passenger is not allowed to sleep. You control the radio and you keep the driver awake. But while playing lookout as passenger, but yeah, I spotted a sign that said Badlands. No fucking clue what that was, but I keep saying but. I was with Keegan Butts and he was driving, so I guess that fits. We decided to take a stop at the Badlands. The 2 girls were kind of mad at me the whole trip. I don't really know why. Never really learned it. Fun stories about that later. But they were kind of bitchy that I stopped even though Keegan was driving, but whatever, past that. We get to the Badlands and my buddy Scott and I have my mom's camera with like a lamp on it because I don't know, phones didn't have satisfying flashlights, I guess, and we didn't come prepared with anything else. But we just start like hiking into the Badlands. Now, if you haven't seen the Badlands or heard of the Badlands, I'll throw up a picture of what Google says that they look like. But it's incredible. It's fucking jagged. It's very like, it's almost like mountain ranges and like ditches and valleys, but everything's really sharp and jagged, and kind of like the scale of all those big hills has been just smushed together. So they're still really fucking tall, but they're steep. And we're just climbing into the Badlands. Terrible idea. It turns out there's like hella coyotes and everything out there, and I don't know, wilderness that we don't know how to play with too well. But I think the camera's slowly tilting. Ignore that. So we're in the middle of the Badlands. We've been walking for like maybe 20 minutes just like into the heart of it. And my camera starts to beep because the battery's about to die, and that's our only light source. And we're on this bit of a catwalk where we've got like this 10, 12 foot wall to our right and like a 10, 12 foot drop on our left, like a little goat trail type of thing. And we realize we have to scurry back. So we turn around, we start moving with a bit more haste. And I remember we couldn't find the exact path down. So we ended up doing this like really shitty descent. Somehow Scott got down and I tried to hang down and like get a foot on his shoulder to brace me, but I was hanging, trying to jump to my left, was hanging on my left arm, so I'm like looking the wrong direction of where I need to jump. And I end up kind of scraping down, and just all of my pictures from California, my arms are all scratched up. But still not the best part. Like we had some panic, we had a lot of adrenaline trying to get back to the road before all of our lights died because it was pitch black. And we managed this. We get to the road, we get to the car, and we realize, well, I guess they realized before us, they're all laying down in the middle of the street, just looking up. The stars are fucking huge. You can easily see the Milky Way galaxy. If I knew where the planets were, I could have pointed out all of them that were visible from the surface at any point. Like everything was out. Like we could damn near see southern hemisphere constellations. This shit was wild. It was so cool. And on top of that, we get there, we get back, we get calmed down from not getting lost in the Badlands. And then the most massive meteor shower I've ever seen or maybe heard of. It was ridiculous. Just scars shooting across the sky. More that night than I've seen at like everything else collected. And I've seen a bunch. It was wild. Really fucking cool to take this random stop, get hella scared, see some really neat shit, and then just be blown away with what for several years was the most magnificent sky I'd ever seen, until I went off to Colorado or Wyoming for the eclipse. Maybe we'll talk about that one tomorrow. But yeah, I saw an impeccable meteor shower, and it was really fucking cool, and it was on the other side of the country during a pretty intense road trip. I really loved that. It was a highlight, and it's something that I enjoy looking for scenarios that can top it, and I've only found one so far. But that's all. I think this is the 9th video, well, 10th video, 9th actual story. I wish that I started these on the start of the week so everything would be divisible by 5, but it's not. So maybe I'll do some bonus videos at some point to catch it up to a better scale. I don't know. It's just pissing me off that it's starting on a 9 for a Monday. I digress. This is God's Autobiography. My name is Stephen French. Thank you for sticking along. And that's about it. Enjoy my tree. Peace.